Hi everyone and welcome back to Bonnie Astrology. Today we're discussing the mystical and magical new moon happening in the sign of Pisces on the 20th of February 2023 and what it means for your zodiac sign. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for all things astrology. You can book private astrology readings with me if you contact me at the email in the description box. It's the only email you can get me at. It's the only place you can get me to book a reading, and I will not be reaching out to you first. Let's talk about this magical new moon happening in the sign of Pisces. We have yet another new moon happening at 1 degree of a sign, which is facilitating brand new beginnings, fresh starts, new beginnings in our lives. And this one is happening in the sign of Pisces, which is a very spiritual, very magical, very mystical sign. So there is going to be a magical new beginning happening in the Pisces house of your chart. Now I will get into that for each of the zodiac signs, so the timestamps are listed below, and you're better watching your rising sign first, but you can also watch your sun and your moon. But first I'm going to get into what this new moon in Pisces means for all of us. This new moon in Pisces is going to be conjunct Saturn. Now, while Saturn is still in Aquarius, Saturn is going to be moving into Pisces in March. So Saturn is currently in the later degrees of Aquarius, and this new moon is in the early degrees of Pisces, which is forming an out of sign conjunction. Now, this is important because with Saturn moving into Pisces in March, we are going to be beginning a 3-year cycle, because Saturn is going to be in Pisces from 2023 to 2026. This new moon is offering us a new start to get a little bit ahead of Saturn, which Saturn would like from us, because Saturn likes responsibility and thinking ahead and planning and practicality. This new moon is a time to set intentions about what it is that you want to achieve over the next 3 years, particularly if you have Pisces placements in your big three or any Pisces placements in your chart, particularly the house that Pisces is. So even if you have no planets in Pisces, you still have a Pisces house. And this is where we're setting intentions. I will get into this for each of the individual zodiac signs, so you can click on the timestamp listed below to get your horoscope. But I just need to let you know that I will be going into it individually for each sign, so you won't miss what it is. But this is a chance to set very grounded intentions. Now, Pisces is not a naturally grounded sign. Pisces is very mystical, very magical, operates in the ethereal and the spiritual realms, the behind the scenes energy. So this may very well be something that you want to work on privately, you want to work on behind the scenes. And this is a time to be quite dedicated to it. So if you think of Pisces being a very creative sign, you can see that with every great work of art that has lasted through the ages, it has taken time. You have still got the Mona Lisa in the Louvre, you've still got the Statue of David. It took time to create, but it still had that mystical, magical vision to make the art happen, and then the dedication. So this is the kind of new moon where you may be deciding to start something creative with the discipline of Saturn to take your time on it, work hard on it over long periods of time so that it will last. Because with a new moon connecting with Saturn, what begins around this time is likely to last. It is likely to be sustainable, and it's likely to bring you results over time, but continuously. Saturn has this lasting energy. You make changes with this new moon that last. Now, Pisces actually rules escapism and what we use to escape from our everyday reality. So a lot of people might find around this new moon with the Saturn aspect that there's a bit of a sobering effect, that they want to begin a new chapter without something they've been using to escape, whether it is alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it is video games, whether it's shopping, whether it's binge watching Netflix, whatever it is that you're using to escape from your everyday life with. You may decide around this time that you finally want to kick the habit. For some of you, it could be smoking. With this new moon, there seems to be this sense of, I want to work on something that I'm really emotionally invested in, and that might require me to give up something that's helping me escape my emotions, because that will be a big theme of Saturn and Pisces. I will have a video coming up on Saturn and Pisces and what it means for all the different zodiac signs and what it means for us collectively, but this new moon is a head start on the Saturn in Pisces cycle. There's also a few other things going on around the time of this new moon. So as this new moon, Venus is going to be at 29 degrees of Pisces, sextiling Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn. So at the same time of this new beginning, we are actually undergoing a wrapping up process in the Capricorn house of our chart. So Pluto going through Capricorn has been happening since 2008, and there has been a lot of changes occurring since then in your Capricorn house, and of course in the worldview, because Capricorn is associated with our governments and our bigger systems. So Pluto has been bringing very intense, drawn out transformations there, because Pluto takes a very long time. So in the Capricorn house of your chart, you might be wrapping up a particular cycle. Now, the sextile to Venus is giving a bit of grace about this. Venus at 29 degrees can be a bit tricky for the financial system, but in our personal lives, this sextile between Venus and Pluto is kind of giving this, making the transformation and the changes into art energy and transcending them in a way that is kind of healing. With the sextile to Pluto, I feel like Venus is helping us create something out of chaos, create something out of the changes, create something out of the endings. And for a lot of people, that might actually be, particularly Pisces or Capricorn risings, letting go of a particular aesthetic or a way of styling themselves or a way of viewing the world and the beauty within it. Now, other things that are happening is that Venus is actually then moving into Aries about an hour after this. And Venus going into Aries is going to begin this really interesting chapter where, while Venus doesn't like being in Aries, Venus is going to connect with Jupiter in Aries on the 2nd of March at 12 degrees of Aries. So Venus moving into Aries is going to bring some kind of benefit, some kind of beauty to the Aries part of our chart, and connected to any fire sign placements we have at about 11, 12 or 13 degrees. So that could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. If you have anything at 11, 12, 13 degrees of the fire signs, that conjunction is going to bring some beauty. So this new moon might be a time to set intentions similarly as to what you would like to manifest into your life. That could be in the realms of higher knowledge with Jupiter, romance with Venus, or even financial abundance. It's kind of giving this sense of what would you like the Aries chart to flourish with as well, because we will have eclipses coming up. The next new moon in Aries, there's going to be a new moon in Aries and a solar eclipse in Aries, so it is going to be quite intense in the Aries sector going into the spring, summertime. But this new moon is offering us this opportunity to decide what we would like to manifest in the Aries part of our chart as well, with Venus moving into Aries so soon after this new moon. Jupiter in Aries is going to be sextiling Mercury at this time, and Neptune is conjunct Venus, and this matters because Jupiter and Neptune co-rule this new moon. So with Jupiter being in Aries, sextiling Mercury in Aquarius, this can bring about some innovative conversations, this can bring some fun times with friends, this can bring some personal goals being achieved due to the help of people around us. Neptune conjunct Venus can bring this really ethereal beauty energy, and although Neptune and Venus were conjunct the week prior, they're still in this conjunction around the time of the new moon, adding a bit of a dreamy mystical quality to this already rather mystical and dreamy new moon in Pisces. So there's a lot of spiritual energy happening around this time. It might be a wonderful time to get a reading. It might be a wonderful time to get a new tarot deck, to get some new candles, whatever it is that helps you connect to your spiritual side, or to plan a spiritual trip or experience around this new moon in Pisces. Now, the next couple of days have interesting events with Mercury, because Mercury in Aquarius will square Taurus on the 21st, which could bring some surprising news. This could bring some news that is a little shocking. There's not too much else going on that could be too drastic with this, but it could be coming from friends. It could be to do with finances, with the fact that Aquarius and Taurus are in play here. It could be to do with groups of people rebelling against something or standing up against something that they disapprove of, that they do not feel is right. The 22nd, Mercury is going to trine Mars, so Mercury in Aquarius is then going to trine Mars in Gemini, which could bring some good news, some exciting developments, or something positive that is happening in our lives. So there's a bit of a mixed bag with news and events and conversations coming up in the days that are prior. But stay focused on your intentions around this time. Stay focused on what it is that you are trying to commit to or manifest in your life, because with the new moon in Pisces conjunct Saturn, you're really going to have that dedication. You're less likely to want to escape from what it is that you're trying to create. You're more likely to lean into making small changes of discipline to make your dreams happen rather than try to avoid them by escaping into someone else's creative vision. You know, it's like when you have ideas that you want to put on YouTube, but you're busy scrolling other people's videos to distract yourself from doing it. This new moon is saying, hey, you're creative. You're inspired, you have ideas, put them out there. And that is what you're going to find you want to do around this new moon in Pisces. Whatever creative endeavor you want to explore. It could be in any different type of area. It doesn't have to be YouTube. But with Pisces, it's where you want to be creative, you want to make something happen, and you want a dream to become a reality. Let's get an oracle card for this new moon in Pisces and see what is coming up for us all at this time. New moon in Pisces. 20th of February 2023. It's actually Rihanna's birthday, which I think is really funny because this new moon is conjunct Rihanna's sun, and she obviously just had the Super Bowl performance and has a baby on the way. So that goes to show how a new moon on your sun can change a lot of things going on in your life and bring in some exciting new beginnings for you professionally with the sun, but also parentally. So let's have a little look and see what we get. Time for a nap. So Pisces is the sign associated with sleep. So I feel like with the never-ending story underneath in the time for a nap, I feel like if at this time with so much going on with Mercury, if you feel a bit wired, if you feel like your thinking has got a bit negative, if you're finding yourself a bit overwhelmed, Pisces is the sign of sleep. Pisces is the sign of our dreams. So pay attention to your dreams at this time and also make sure you're getting enough sleep and take naps if you need to. Saturn can make us tired. So especially if you're a Pisces placement, you may notice around this time you need more sleep, you need a nap, you need to recharge, and you need some downtime, and that is perfectly okay. In fact, lean into it if you do need a little bit more sleep around this new moon. But let's get into what it means for each of the individual zodiac signs. Timestamps are listed below. Thank you for watching my video, and I will talk to you soon. Happy new moon. Hi Aries, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Aries, this new moon is happening in your spiritual house, the 12th house. This is a time for you to take more self-care. You might be more inclined to want to take salt baths. You might be more inclined to want to meditate, to want to sleep a little bit more, to want to spend some time in, like an evening in with yourself, pampering yourself, taking care of yourself. You might need a little bit more sleep, you might need a little bit more rest, and your dreams may be more vivid and more revealing at this time. This new moon is a wonderful time to set a new spiritual intention for yourself, a new spiritual practice. Perhaps you're deciding you would like to meditate daily. If this is so, you're more likely to stick with it. If you want to read your tarot cards or your oracle cards daily, if you want to learn a new spiritual skill, such as studying Reiki, getting your attunements or something like that, you want to bring in something new that you're going to commit to in a spiritual or perhaps an emotional or mental health level. This could be seeing a therapist. This could be journaling daily. Really, this new moon for you, Aries, is about looking after yourself, mind, body, and soul. So you might notice more signs this week as well. You might see the same animal over and over, the same repeating numbers, the same angel numbers over and over again. And this is the universe trying to communicate something to you, or your guides, if you believe in them, trying to get your attention. You might be noticing more serendipities and synchronicities. And as I say, your dreams may be more vivid. So do pay attention to what's going on in your dreams at this time, Aries. We do have your ruler Mars trining Mercury in the days that follow this new moon. So there might be with Mars in your third house of communication, trining Mercury in your sector of friendships, you might be collaborating with some people on a project. You might be having help from others to do what it is that you want to do, to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. You might get more help around this time. People may be more open to helping you. And you might also notice with Jupiter in your sign sextiling Mercury in Aquarius, it really emphasizes this message of spending some time talking to your friends at least. Even if you want to take some downtime to yourself, which is totally fine, Aries, you might want to communicate with your friends over Messenger or in group chats and maybe ask them for their advice or some help on something while not actually having to leave the house. Now, You may become more social in the days that follow while Venus enters your first house, giving you more inclination to be seen. You might find yourself being better received by others, people finding you very attractive, you're looking your best, you're getting your makeup right, your hair right, your clothing right, you're finding styles that suit and flatter you. And it's a great time for a haircut, particularly around the 2nd of March when Venus and Jupiter connect in your sign, bringing you a lot of luck and a lot of abundance. And this is certainly a time to be seen. But for now, you might want to rest up. You might want to take some time to yourself and chill out a little bit, Aries. We have the Page of Swords. So this is exactly that message of communicating over social media, talking to other people, maybe networking online while having some downtime to yourself. This may also be a time when you hear some news, particularly as Mercury is very active in the sky around this time. You might get some news from a friend, you might get some news on the internet, or you might get a message that you have been waiting for around this new moon, Aries. But that is what I have for you. I hope you have a good one, and I will talk to you soon. Hey Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Taurus, this new moon is happening in your 11th house of friends and social networking. Taurus, for you, this new moon could bring a new friend or a new social circle into your life. You could be finding a new group of people that you want to hang out with, you want to associate with. There could be a new member of a team that you are part of. And this could be someone or a group that lasts in your life for quite a long time. This is a wonderful time to call in new friendships that are long lasting and stable and built on common interests, Taurus. You may also similarly find with this new moon that you want to have a new beginning without certain friends, maybe friends that are distracting you from what it is that you want to achieve, not supportive of what you want to achieve. They might be holding you back, or they might be encouraging somewhat of a bad habit with the Piscean energy. The dark side of Pisces can be addiction, so you might decide you don't want to be around people that are drinking all the time. You don't want to socialize just by drinking. You maybe want to join a rock climbing club, or you want to do something that is a little bit different and perhaps a bit more healthy for you and helps you achieve a goal that you've really wanted to do for a long time. Perhaps you join some kind of group of people that are doing a hobby or a skill that you've always wanted to do but you felt like you couldn't, and you're deciding that this is the time to try it. You might also find that there is a wish or an aspiration, Taurus, where you suddenly feel, do you know, I'd really like to achieve this. With Saturn going into that sector in March, you're getting more serious about it. You're getting more serious about achieving these things that matter so much to your heart, and you're willing to put in the hard work. And this is the new moon, you're going to begin that cycle. So Venus, your ruler, is at 29 degrees Pisces under this new moon, sextiling Pluto in Capricorn, your 9th house, also at 29 degrees. A lot of you are letting go of a particular way of viewing the world, or a particular way of viewing travel, perhaps. With your 9th house being a place of adventure and expanding your horizons, it feels like you're wrapping up a particular chapter there with Pluto being at 29 degrees. You're wrapping up a particular way of traveling, of seeing the world, maybe of even learning or studying. For some of you, that could be finishing a thesis or finishing a graduate course or a master's course, or it could be that you're deciding that you no longer associate a particular worldview with yourself anymore, and you're changing that. And perhaps that's coming as a letting go of a particular group of people, or letting go of a particular social circle that doesn't resonate with you anymore, Taurus. It feels like you're wrapping up something there. And you might also be wrapping up a particular dream that you just don't resonate with anymore, so that you can focus on something that is more resonant and matches your beliefs now, Taurus. So let's get you a tarot card for this new moon in Pisces. Ooh, the Four of Cups. Okay, so you're realizing what it is that you want to reject. I feel for a lot of you though, Six of Wands underneath, I feel for a lot of you, you're rejecting what no longer works. And for some of you, I really get the sense you might be rejecting alcohol. A lot of people are going to go teetotal with Saturn and Pisces. I think some of you could be rejecting socializing just with alcohol, or socializing with people that don't offer you anything, or things that are holding you back is what it is that I feel like you're rejecting, Taurus. I don't feel like this is you rejecting something in this case that is going to be of benefit for you. I see you more likely to say no to the things that aren't working for you anymore. That's what I have for you, Taurus, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising. Gemini, this new moon is happening in your 10th house, which is your career, your status and your reputation and your goals, Gemini. So this new moon is a time where I feel like a lot of you are going to set new intentions when it comes to your profession, and there seems to be a new beginning going on in your professional life. Perhaps you're starting a new job, perhaps you're starting a new project, perhaps you have a new goal in mind, and with Saturn in the mix, you have this incentive to make it happen. A lot of you Geminis, especially Gemini risings, are going to be working really hard towards your goals over the next few years. You often see with Saturn going into Pisces that this is whenever we start our first jobs in the world, or we start a new career path, or we start working towards something that we're very serious about. And there's a lot of lessons and hard work involved, and this can actually be very rewarding and builds lasting, sustainable foundations. So for you, Gemini, this is a new moon to set the intentions of what it is that you do want to achieve and just how willing you are to work hard to get there. And I don't mean that in a toxic way. I mean that in terms of a dedication that you have to what it is that you want to achieve. Now, for some of you, this could actually involve setting up professional boundaries. Perhaps you're having to have conversations with people you work with and say, I'm only contracted to do this amount of hours. That's all I'm going to do. Or I feel like you're overstepping with what you're asking of me effectively, and you're setting up a boundary in place that's better for you mentally, Gemini. You could be setting up boundaries in the workplace, and you could also be healing, because it is Pisces. You could be healing any subconscious or even conscious wounds you have when it comes to success, feeling like you're not good enough or feeling like it's not possible for you. You could be working through these kind of wounds. Your ruler Mercury is sextiling Jupiter, and Jupiter is in your 11th house of wishes. So with Mercury being in Aquarius for you, which is to do with your 9th house, which is to do with your worldview and your faith, Gemini, you could be finding the sextile to Jupiter in your 11th house is that you're getting more optimistic about what it is that you can do, although you are going to run into a little bit of resistance with your ruler Mercury squaring Uranus being in your 12th house of the subconscious. So it's almost like you're feeling, do you know what, on a rational level, I can do this, I'm going to be more optimistic, but there's this little like feeling coming in from Uranus of, oh no, you can't do that. And it might erupt in a dream, and you actually figure out what it is that is holding you back by it becoming conscious to you with that particular dream, or a conversation with somebody that maybe triggers you and you think, that's what it is that's holding me back, because sometimes squares to Uranus can provoke the change necessary. Now, your ruler Mercury is also trining Mars in your first house. So I feel like by the 22nd, you have a better mindset and more faith in yourself and your abilities after maybe a little crisis somewhere in there as well. So, Gemini right off the bat, the Emperor. You guys are thinking of leveling up in your career and your profession, or asserting boundaries, being more in your power. 6 of Wands underneath. Success is yours. You're setting yourself up for a new cycle. And with the help of Mars trining your ruler, you're going to feel more confident and empowered to make career and... They don't have to be career, but make goals for yourself, things that you want to achieve, things that you want to tick off your bucket list. You're getting very confident in what it is that you want to do, even if there's a little blip on the way there. That is what I have for you, Gemini, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising. Welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So this is a fellow water sign energy, Cancer, meaning that it is very harmonious with you. This new moon is happening in your sector of learning and it's a very curious zone. It also rules travel and expanding your horizons. This might be a time where you decide to get your passport and book a trip. You might be planning the trip of a lifetime. You might be deciding that there's somewhere that you actually really want to go. And this with Saturn could be a lengthy trip. It could be a long distance trip. This could be something that you've always wanted to do, and now you finally have the time, or you have the dedication to do it, or you might actually be able to do it through work, Cancer. But if it's not anything to do with traveling, it could be to do with expanding your horizons in terms of your learning. This could be a time where some of you sign up for a particular course that is going to give you a long-term credential with Saturn. It could be a time where you are committing to studying something that is going to change your perspectives on life. This could be a time when you are signing up to a course in university that is quite long with Saturn, but you're dedicating yourself to learning something new and expanding your horizons. And because your ruler is the new moon, is the moon, and this moon is conjunct Saturn, I feel like you yourself are ready to dedicate yourself to something that you want to study, Cancer, or you want to learn about, whether that is a culture or somewhere you want to go or something you want to explore. or a new worldview or religious or political perspective, Cancer. You're dedicating yourself to something new. You're dedicating yourself to studying something, working hard on something that is going to be very expansive for you. It's going to expand your viewpoint. It is going to feel like you're getting out of your comfort zone, and you're really ready for this, I think. You're ready to get out of your comfort zone. You're ready to try something new. Because you now have the stamina to succeed at it effectively. Let's see what we have for you. Six of Pentacles. You might also be getting some help around this time, Cancer. With you underneath the Queen of Cups. You might be getting some help from others at this time, maybe financially, maybe from work. You might be getting some assistance. You might be getting some financial backing, or you might just be finding that people are more caring about you, or people in authority, or people who are maybe more well off or maybe more established than you want to help you. The conjunction from your moon, your ruler, the moon, to Saturn means that people in positions of authority, people in positions of power want to help you out with what it is that you're doing or what it is that you're going through, Cancer. So that is what I have for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising. Welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Leo, this new moon is happening in your 8th house. And now the 8th house is a very taboo, mystical, magical place. It is associated with the occult. It is associated with psychology. It's associated with our fears. So for you, Leo, this new moon could very well be to do with your psychological state, perhaps your subconscious state. I think a lot of you could be doing some shadow work at this time, or committing to doing some shadow work, or working through something that has been holding you back. I feel like a lot of you could be tackling an inner demon or a fear or a phobia at this time with the conjunction to Saturn, because you're ruled by the sun, and the sun in conjunction to Saturn around this new moon means that you're likely going to be feeling like you want to approach something, a new beginning, very seriously, very somberly, and being a grown-up about it. You want to be mature about it, and you've had Saturn opposing your sun for the last 3 years now. Depending on what degree of Leo you are, it will have been at a different time, or if you're rising, it would have been in your opposite house, your 7th house. So you have had a very sombering, sobering, mature energy coming in from Saturn, and I think that it has led you to decide that you want to approach Saturn going through Pisces a little differently. I think you want to approach it very soberly, and you really want to conquer a fear or a phobia that has been holding you back for quite some time. This could be quite a cathartic point for you, Leo, where you decide, I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to commit to working through this. I'm going to commit to healing this. I'm going to commit to making this fear something that can't control me anymore. You're taking back your power effectively with this new moon, I think, because the 8th house can be very psychological. It can be very penetrative. You're more likely to want to go beneath the surface. You're more likely going to want to work with the shadow side. You might decide that you want to see a shaman. You might decide you want to see a psychologist, a psychotherapist. You might decide you want to commit to learning about these things, or you might decide that you would like to dive a little bit deeper into the mysteries of life and the occult. So maybe astrology, maybe tarot reading, maybe divination. You want to begin a new chapter there that is going to be long lasting, Leo. You're going to be dedicated to this. Maybe you want to learn astrology. Maybe you want to learn any of those things, but you might as equally want to learn about finances and investments and things like that too, Leo. You might want to learn about your money. Be more dedicated, especially if you're in financial business or financially linked with someone else. You want to dedicate yourself to taking it more seriously and to having long-term plans in place. So this could be setting up like an insurance policy or something like that as well, Leo. Let's get you a card. Yes. 7 of Pentacles, you're ready to work hard on something. I feel like you have been working hard on something and you're just requiring a bit of patience now. 7 of Wands underneath. 7s are quite transient, so you're in a waiting period to see the growth. This might be that you're working on something that will not be immediately obvious. It will take time, it will take work, but with dedication it will start to show for you, Leo. So make sure that you're ready to play the long game in whatever process it is that you're beginning at this time. That's what I have for you, Leo, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Virgo, Sun, Moon and Rising, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Virgo, this is happening in your opposite sign of Pisces, your 7th house of relationships and partnerships. Virgo, this new moon could bring in a new relationship for those of you that are single, a new love interest, a new partnership, someone to partner up with. It could be in business as well, or it could be a best friend, but there seems to be an important person entering your life with this new moon conjunct Saturn, because Saturn means that there is someone coming in And if they do, it is for the long run. It is someone that you could be with for quite a long time. It could be that in your relationships, you're deciding that you now want something more long term. So you're approaching dating with that mindset. Or if you have been dating, you may have that conversation of, where is this going? What are we doing? Is this official? Shall we make this official? Something like that. Or if you're in a relationship, this could be a time to commit deeper. Perhaps you're deciding, let's get married, let's have a baby, let's buy a house, let's move in together. Whatever it is, Virgo, it seems that if you're in a relationship, there's a new beginning happening within that relationship. And for those of you that are with someone who does not want to be serious, you may decide to cut them loose at this time, because Saturn can also be quite somber in that sense. But I do think for the majority of you, it looks, Virgo, particularly with Venus in your 7th house, it looks like you might want to Venus is sextiling Pluto in your 5th house. So it's kind of, Virgo, like we're getting this lovely energy between your 7th house and your 5th house, which I feel like bodes quite well for your love and relationship life. Now, your ruler Mercury is sextiling Jupiter at this time, which, because Mercury is in your 8th house and it's sextiling Jupiter in your Jupiter is in your 8th house, Mercury is in your 6th house. I feel like a lot of you are working towards healing a fear with Jupiter being there. Like you're expanding a fear, you're expanding your knowledge of psychology and how you work and what makes you tick. And with Mercury being your ruler sextiling it, I feel as though you're getting to be a bit more brave in maybe broaching or approaching a conversation, or someone is getting brave enough to approach a conversation with you, Virgo. And this could be in terms of a co-worker, or this could be in terms of a relationship, because Jupiter does actually rule your relationship zone as well. So I feel like there could be a conversation going on around this time with a potential partner or with a partner that is quite important for you, Virgo. Looks kind of interesting, I have to say. I do feel like this is a very relationship-based new moon for you, bringing some kind of new beginning to your partnerships and your relationships. We have the 2 of Swords. And underneath is the Magician. So whatever conversation you're having around this time, Virgo, make sure that you're aware of what it is that you want before you do, because if you approach it with no clarity on what it is that you want, it's not going to go well. Make sure you get very clear with the Magician energy and what it is that you're trying to manifest, what you're trying to call into the world, what you're trying to bring about when you have a conversation with somebody or when you're manifesting it, because if you don't, it will likely not go that well. Make sure that you know what it is that you want with the 2 of Swords, and also make sure you're not blocking yourself off from the answers, Virgo, because there is a blindfold here and her arms are crossed, suggesting she's not in a receptive state. Maybe figure out a way to get into that receptive state around this new moon. And I will say as well, on the 21st, with Mercury squaring Uranus, it might not be the best day for the conversation, but the day after with Mercury trining Mars might be a little bit better placed for it. So that's what I have for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hey Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising, welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign. So Libra, this new moon is happening in your 6th house, and this is to do with your work and your routines and your physical health and well-being. So Libra, this is bringing a new beginning to this particular sector for you. For some of you, that could be a new job. You could literally be beginning a new job around this time, or you could be getting news about starting a new job or a new project within your current job. This can also be a new colleague or a new employee joining your workforce, Libra. That could be someone who's there for quite a long time, or someone who perhaps is in a position of authority, or someone who brings a lot of responsibility and experience. And this could be with Saturn, someone that you know for quite a while. So there could be someone important entering your workplace, or this could be a new job you're beginning that will again be quite a long-term one, at least for 3 years, most likely, with it being the Saturn in Pisces cycle. This could be a new project that you're working on that you're going to be quite dedicated and have a lot of responsibility to for quite a while, Libra. This could also be a time when you are starting a new routine. Some of you could be joining a new gym. Some of you could be beginning a new diet. Some of you could be beginning a new exercise regimen, Libra, that is going to require a lot of dedication, or you could be working towards a fitness goal. Perhaps you're going to climb a mountain. Perhaps you're going to run a marathon. Perhaps there is something that you're starting that is going to require a lot of dedication at this time, Libra, or it's something that you're doing around this time that you have been quite dedicated to. But this is looking like something that is going to take a lot of your discipline and structure to make it happen. And I think you're okay with that, Libra, because this new moon is happening as a result of you wanting to commit to something that is going to impact your physical wellness and well-being. So with your ruler Venus being there at 29 degrees, sextiling Pluto, Venus is in your 6th house as well, and it is sextiling Pluto in your sector of home and family. So I feel like for a lot of you, you could be with that being a crisis degree. If you're working on something physically, make sure that you're doing it in a way that is sustainable. Make sure you're not burning yourself out. Make sure you're not making yourself ill by trying to be too well, whether that is that you're under eating drastically and over exercising and this is making you sick, or whether it is that you're pushing yourself that little bit too hard in the gym to the point of injury. Because I feel like with the sextile to Pluto, you might have to rest at home around this new moon because of something you're putting your all into physically. And for some of you, this could actually be deciding to work from home full time if you're in an environment that is hybrid, or you're in an environment that is not facilitating that. Some of you could be making a choice to leave your workplace or work somewhere else based on that particular point, because Venus is your ruler and sextiling Pluto, you're wanting to make change that is right for you. And with the 29 degrees, this might come as a point of crisis. You might decide it's all or nothing. I have to make this change. This is very important to me. And this could also be with Venus being there, that someone that you really like in your job decides to leave because they've had enough, or because of a family issue or something like that, Libra. But let's get you a card and see what is happening for you. Similarly, I feel like some of you are wrapping up something in the home. You're wanting to finish a home project or something you've been doing on your property that maybe has, you really want to get it wrapped up. It's maybe been sitting there for a long time, like an unfinished patio, an unfinished kitchen. You're just like, I need to make this happen. I need to get this all fixed up. I really need to put my foot to the pedal on this and get this home work done, something you're working on in the home. Absolutely. 10 of Pentacles, this is the home and family card to an extent. 10 of Pentacles is also to do with our finances. So I feel like a lot of you are getting you're balancing your checkbook with this 2 of Pentacles. A lot of you are working on your finances. I also feel with this being a card so associated with family and Pluto being at 29 degrees, some of you may be spending more time with your family, particularly older members of your family. You could be having a family reunion, getting together with a bunch of people. And some of you could also be potentially Libra. You could be getting a pay rise, because with Venus being your ruler and it's sextiling Pluto, which also co-rules your 2nd house of finances, some of you could be actually getting a pay rise at this time and coming into some money as well. So that looks nice for you, Libra. I hope you have a good one, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your sign, Scorpio. So Scorpio, this is a wonderful one for those of you who are creative. This is a new beginning in your creative life, something that you want to create for yourself, whether that is in terms of your art, or whether that in terms of perhaps having a baby, whether that is the birthing of a child, or of a new relationship, or of a home project. You're bringing your creativity into something, Scorpio. But for the most of you, this looks like a very significant new hobby or artistic pursuit, something that you're going to sustain for quite a while, Scorpio. So you could be around this time beginning a new artistic endeavor. You could be investing your money into some paints and a canvas. You could be committing to a new creative endeavor such as pottery or sculpture, or you could be writing your next big hit if you're in the music industry, or you could be feeling like you really want to make an album or a body of work, or you really want to make something significant, Scorpio. Say even if you're not an artist by trade, you want to make a sculpture that you can have in your home, because Saturn is sextiling. Saturn is conjunct this new moon from your 4th house. A lot of you could be wanting to do something in terms of your home that makes it more beautiful or more creative. But I do feel for a lot of you, Scorpio, that this is also going to be a new beginning, perhaps in terms of your love life. If you're single, this could be a time when you meet somebody who might be with Saturn. They might be through work, they might be older, they might be younger, there could be a bit of an age difference, or it could be that they are someone who's quite serious or quite Saturn-like. That can sometimes be someone who's quite slim, that can sometimes be someone who's very defined cheekbones or something like that. But you could be beginning a new romantic connection around this time, Scorpio, as well. Someone who is sculpted is the vibe that I get with that. Or if you're in a relationship, this could be perhaps deciding you want to have a baby, or you could be finding that you're pregnant at this time, or it could be that you find that you want to inject more romance or start a hobby together, or a new passion within your relationship. Your ruler Mars is trining Mercury which is really nice. Mars is in your 8th house of intimacy, but also psychological, the psychological work and healing you've been doing is trining Mercury in your 4th house. So for some of you, you could actually be working something out with a family member, or to do with your children, or to do with people in your family if there has been strain and struggle there, or some sort of psychological, like flicking a switch, figuring something out that's going to help you communicate better with your family, or you guys are working through a communication issue and you're finding that it actually makes sense. Now, there is going to be a bit of an explosive energy between Mercury and Uranus. Uranus is in your partnership zone, so you might notice that your partner or your spouse is maybe not gelling so well with your family or their family, or there's maybe a bit of an issue going on there at the same time. But I feel like with you and your family, there seems to be something that's maybe getting worked out or ironed out. Scorpio is what I'm kind of seeing with that energy. Pluto, your ruler, your traditional ruler is Mars. Mars is forming a trine to Mercury, which is great. Pluto is your modern day ruler, and it is at 29 degrees in your Capricorn sector. You guys are really figuring something out when it comes to your mental health, when it comes to the way that you think, the way that you process information, perhaps what it is that you want to learn. At 29 degrees, you're perhaps studying or learning about something obsessively. You could also be overthinking a lot, Scorpio, so just watch out for that and channel that overthinking into the creative project that you're starting instead of using it to destroy, because 29 degrees of Pluto, you can use it to destroy, but you can also use it to transform. The choice is likely yours, Scorpio. So let's get you a card and see what comes up for Scorpio. 6 of Swords, you're finally getting past something. Why has everyone got this one underneath? The 6 of Wands. You're finally getting past something. You're moving beyond the choppy waters into calmer times. You're ready to seek peace where possible. You're wanting to move past something finally, maybe something that's been a long time coming. You're finally over something. You're finally getting past it. You're finally moving into a new body of water that's much more calm, much more serendipitous. With Saturn moving out of fixed sign Aquarius into water sign Pisces, you're going to be getting the kisses from Saturn instead of the punches in the face. I'm joking, it's not really that dramatic, but well, sometimes it is. You're finally getting the smoother energies with Saturn rather than the choppier waters that you've been experiencing since 2020. Since 2020, Scorpio. And underneath with the 6 of Wands, you're feeling on your pedestal about something. You're feeling pretty pleased about something you've done successfully, Scorpio, or perhaps you're moving towards the success that you really want to move towards. But that is what I have for you. I hope you have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Welcome to the new moon in Pisces for you. So Sagittarius, forgot which one I was talking to there. I've been going non-stop for like an hour. Sagittarius, this new moon is happening in your home and family sector. So for a lot of you, the way this is looking to me with Saturn being in the mix, you could be really getting stuck into a home improvement project, redecorating, DIY. For some of you, this is an actual new home. For some, it's your forever home. Some of you are moving into a very new property. Well, not necessarily very new in the sense that it's modern, but you're moving into a new property that you're going to be in for quite a while with Saturn. For some of you, you're beginning a new project with your home renovations. These may take a little longer than you anticipated. Saturn has a way of slowing things down and making you patient. So if you are beginning a new project, just know it might take quite a while. It might take a bit of patience, and it might take a good bit of work to make it stable. Some of you are finding as well at this time that if you're redecorating with Saturn there, you're kind of going for more traditional or classic styles potentially. I often find when I'm in a Sagittarian's home that it is like an explosion of colour. You know, I was once in a Sagittarian's home who had painted the walls bright orange and not stopped there, had painted the ceiling bright orange, and I'd never seen it before, but it really did make the room so much warmer. But so I feel like Sagittarians kind of have this like, why not energy, and you know, sometimes that creative risk pays off. But I feel like for a lot of you, you could actually be taking a more like built, and if it's not, you know, that you're going for a conventional or conservative style, it could be that you're going for, you know, antiques with Saturn there. You're getting furniture that's not IKEA, for example, furniture that's built to last a lifetime, that kind of thing. So maybe you're thrifting or antiquing or something like that. But I do feel like when it comes to your home, Sagittarius, you're really working on making something, you know, kind of built to last effectively. So that could be building a home. For some of you, it could be a very nostalgic time. So you could be getting the family together, reconnecting with family, perhaps in some cases moving past something, letting bygones be bygones. Your ruler Jupiter is sextiling Mercury. So Jupiter rules your first house, and it's sextiling Mercury, which rules your seventh. So Jupiter's in your fifth house and Mercury is in your third. A lot of you, if you're looking to date or looking to meet someone, you could meet someone through a neighbour or like a neighbourhood party, or through a sibling or through a cousin at a party. You could meet someone through those type of people, or at a social situation, or literally like somewhere that's fun, or through a creative hobby or a short course that you're doing on something creative. If you're looking to date somebody, that could be a thing for you. With Jupiter in the fifth house sextiling Mercury, I feel like a lot of you could be initiating conversations with neighbours, maybe getting to know your neighbours a little bit better, maybe getting to know your neighbourhood a bit better, or more involving yourself in your neighbourhood events, Sagittarius, and your community. Your card, Four of Wands, could that be any more accurate? Without sounding like Chandler Bing, could that be any more accurate? Four of Wands is the fourth house. It's home, it's family, it's property, it's spending time with your loved ones, spending time with your family. Queen of Wands underneath, that's a female fire sign, that is you. Could also be that a female fire sign, or even a water sign. So we have Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, and Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We also underneath that, funnily enough, have the Queen of Pentacles. So we have 3 court cards. I do see you associating with a lot of people at this time, going to a party, going to an event. I don't want to list all the zodiac signs because I don't want to be like one of those TikTok tarot readers that says, if you're a Scorpio, Pisces, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, this is for you. Do you know what I mean? Four of Wands, this is likely to be a neighbourhood party or an event you're going to, or reconnecting with your family, or building your dream home, or, you know, there could be marriages, engagements, all that sort of stuff. It really seems to be a new chapter when it comes to your family, Sagittarius. That is what I have for you, and I will talk to you soon. Hi Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Welcome to the new moon in Pisces for your zodiac sign, Capricorn. So Capricorn, this new moon is happening in your third house. Now the third house is to do with your mind. So this is a new beginning in terms of your mindset, particularly because it is conjunct your ruler Saturn. So for a lot of you, this is a new way of thinking. This is a new way of processing information, learning. A lot of you are going to be more conscious about the information and the news that you're taking in. Perhaps for some of you, you're wanting to unsubscribe from particular social media accounts, news outlets. You're wanting to limit with Saturn the amount of news you're ingesting. And I think some of you are also wanting to take more accountability and responsibility on what you say, Capricorn. So that could be that you're wanting to take a course on effective communication. This could be that you're learning to be more diplomatic. Perhaps you're learning some sort of skill that's going to help you communicate better with those around you. Particularly because Saturn being your sign means that there's a sense of you taking the initiative here. You're doing it for yourself. This can also be a new beginning with a sibling, Capricorn, because this is in your third house. A lot of the time the third house is younger siblings, but I have seen it extend to older siblings as well. Personally, but that's not the traditional way of looking at it. But this can be the siblings in your life. It can also be cousins. So you could be beginning some sort of new beginning with a person that fits that description. So a sibling, a neighbour, a cousin. With this being the third house, you could be starting something new within your neighbourhood or your community. And you could also be starting a new course, Capricorn, say a short-term course where you want to learn a language, you want to learn a skill, you want to learn something that is new to you, that I feel with Saturn you could be quite dedicated to and take very seriously. So if you've always wanted to learn French, this is a wonderful time to start because you're more likely to stick to it. And because it's in the sign of Pisces, you're more likely to find it a bit more magical around this time, Capricorn, because with Saturn being your ruler in alignment with this new moon, you yourself are dedicated. You're feeling like it's right for you. You're feeling like it's right for your energy. You're feeling like you can do this. Now, Pluto, it's worth mentioning, is still at 29 degrees of your sign and will be so until March. So you're wrapping up a particular way of living, a particular lifestyle, a particular way of viewing yourself. I feel like a lot of you don't want to be the old you anymore. You're finally saying goodbye to a particular life cycle, a way of living, a way of seeing yourself, a way of behaving, a way of identifying yourself. For some people, this has been that, for example, you were single and then Pluto came in, you're suddenly a parent and you have to say goodbye to being a single adult, you know, like being not having those kind of commitments. For some of you, this is that, say you've perhaps battled something for years, you're finally ready to let it go and step into a new way of being. A lot of you are shedding a skin in a big way, and you don't want to be the person that you were before. You notice how much you've changed since 2008. You're ready to step into a new way of being, and this is involving a deep catharsis of self, Capricorn, that can at times feel uneasy. So with this new moon, I will say, make sure that you're talking to people, make sure you're communicating with others, make sure that you are asking for help if you need it, if you're finding certain changes hard to process, if you're finding certain changes hard to navigate. Because stepping into a new identity of sorts, stepping into a new life isn't always easy. There can be a lot of things to navigate, a lot of changes to process, and you don't have to do those alone. And with the third house, it can also be friends. So with this new moon, if you feel like you need to talk to someone, this is the ideal time to do it, because the people that you'll be talking to with Saturn are likely more mature, they're likely wise, and they likely have experience in perhaps what it is that you're dealing with. Could be a good time to connect with a mentor and have these kind of conversations. Some of you might actually start a podcast, some of you might start writing a book, some of you might start writing something that's very significant to you, like a thesis or something like this. I could also see for a lot of you that when it comes to a sibling, there could be a new beginning there with Saturn that is quite... I feel like you're having to be there in a kind of serious capacity. You're having to perhaps help them with a responsibility. You're perhaps having to help them mature into something, or perhaps help them grow or take on some level of responsibility. When it comes to a sibling, when it comes to maybe even helping out a neighbor, Pisces is very altruistic. It's very compassionate. Perhaps you're helping someone in your neighborhood and you're having to put the time and effort into doing that, or with a sibling, or perhaps even with a cousin or something like that, or with a friend. So let's see, Capricorn, what we've got for you. Death card. Pluto, King of Swords. You're being reborn. You're starting a new chapter, a new beginning. Pluto at 29 degrees. You're changing the way that you think. You're changing the way that you interact with others. I think for a lot of you, with Pluto being the modern day ruler of your 11th house, you're changing your goals. You're changing your aspirations. You're letting go of what no longer serves you. And with the King of Swords, you're being very decisive about this. I think a lot of you are becoming much more mature, much more, and you know, Capricorn's sort of born mature in a lot of cases, and then goes in reverse and sort of lightens up as you get older. But you're really letting go of a particular way of being. I think with the King of Swords energy, you're getting very serious about the changes you want to make. And with the Ace of Pentacles underneath that, I feel like it's facilitating new beginnings that are much more sustainable and fruitful for you. And you're kind of letting go of the dead weight. You're letting go of what's not working for you. For some of you, this could also be addressing how you feel about change, or maybe processing some deep emotions that are coming up at this time with Pluto being at your sign at 29 degrees. Go easy on yourself, reach out to people, talk to people, allow yourself to be seen and be supported. And if it's not, if you're not received right away, try again. That is what I have for you, Capricorn, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Aquarius, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to the new moon in Pisces for you. So Aquarius, this new moon is in aspect to Saturn, your traditional ruler, and your modern day ruler Uranus is squaring Mercury. So let's start with this new moon. The new moon is going to be in your second house, which is to do with income, money, your resources, your values. There is a new beginning happening here. Perhaps you are starting a new financial plan. Perhaps you are getting more serious about your money. Perhaps you are opening a new bank account. Perhaps you're opening a new checking account. Perhaps you are starting a new job that is giving you a new source of income, or a new project that's a new source of income. Now with Saturn, this is something you're taking seriously. This is something you're going to work hard on. So if you are beginning a new job or a new source of income, it's going to take a lot of your energy. But with Saturn being your ruler in your sign, you're fit for this. You're ready for this. You're dedicated to this. I feel like a lot of you are ready to be quite serious when it comes to your values and finances, and perhaps you have new boundaries you want to implement in your life, new rules that you want to implement in your life, and you're very serious about these. You're saying, this is what I want, this is how I want to go about this is what I'm doing, and you're being very serious about it with others, but also yourself. There's some self-set boundaries, Aquarius, where you're saying, I'm going to be nicer to me. I'm going to take more time for myself. I'm going to say no to this, even if it makes me cringe on the inside. You're really clear on what it is that you want to do. You're quite decisive. Now, Saturn aspecting this gives you the, I feel, confidence to implement a new beginning in your life that is good for you. you're doing this because it's better for you. This might actually be changing your eating habits as well, Aquarius, because we can associate the second house with food. So perhaps you're getting very serious on your well-being with what it is that you're eating and ingesting. And you're setting in place new habits that are going to be very good for your body. Now, with your traditional ruler Uranus in your family sector, squaring Mercury in your first house, I feel like a lot of you run the risk of, when setting a boundary with someone, if it's in your family, of absolutely losing absolutely losing it on someone that you have in your family, because they could really irritate you at this time. They could do something so left field that you're just like so annoyed at them. And that's perfectly fine, but just know that Mercury in your sign is also sextiling Jupiter and is going to trine Mars the day after that. So with Mercury in your first house trining Mars, I feel like a lot of you could be much better at communicating what it is that you want, what it is that you need, and your perspectives. Especially if it's with children, you could be a lot better at explaining them or getting your point across the day after. So just be mindful of that. If you feel like you want to explode at someone in your family who maybe does something left field, or perhaps there's something happens in the home that's unexpected and frustrating, you'd be better at communicating about it the day after. And that's just something to bear in mind, because I really feel like someone in your family or something in your home, maybe a gadget, maybe an electrical appliance, it could just suddenly blow and you could be so frustrated about this, but you might be able to fix it the next day or get a better result the next day in terms of what you're saying. Do you know what I mean? It might be a better day for communication the following day, but there is a new beginning happening for you, Aquarius, to do with your money, your finances, and perhaps even some of you are getting a gift at this time. Someone's giving you something, Aquarius. Let's see what we get. 10 of Wands. You might be feeling a bit overburdened by a few things with the 9 of Pentacles. If you're self-employed, you might decide that you want to outsource some work. You might want to hire an assistant. You might want to cut back on work. You might want to have someone help you with your finances, because the 9 of Pentacles is often someone who's self-employed. If it's not that, you might just be feeling like you're a bit overworked and you need to dedicate a little bit more time to self-care, because with Saturn we don't overwork. I think people think we do, but if it's not sustainable, Saturn won't like it. So overdoing it isn't really a Saturnian option. Working hard over a long period of time and delayed gratification, yes. Burning yourself into the ground, no, because you're going to set yourself back even further, and then you're going to have to learn that lesson. And no, don't burn yourself into the ground with something, Aquarius. I know because Saturn's in your sign, you're very serious about getting certain things done, especially if you're a late degree Aquarius at this point. But breathing space is in place with Saturn leaving your sign. And you might also notice that in terms of this new moon, it's good to get a head start on your finances and your financial situation, Aquarius, because Saturn will be in Pisces for 3 years. That is what I have for you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising. Welcome to the new moon in your sign. It is your annual new moon, Pisces, which brings in a new beginning in your first house of self. So this is quite an exciting one, Pisces. Exciting in a sense, because we know that Saturn is going to be moving into Pisces in March, which is beginning a 3-year cycle, which is an astrological new start. It's a new life cycle for you. So particularly if you're Pisces rising, this is beginning a whole new life chapter. And this is going to be a time of increased responsibility and maturity. So it's likely around this time that you're going to be taking on something new that is personal to you. Perhaps you're going to get married. Perhaps you're going to start a family. Perhaps you're going to build a home. Perhaps you're going to start a new career. Whatever it is, it can be a wonderful thing, but it's going to take responsibility. The best things in life do. So don't fear it so much. But this is a wonderful time to set the intentions of what you want this 3-year cycle to mean for you. You know, how do you want to look in 3 years? How do you want to be living in 3 years? What do you want your personal mantra to be? What do you want your personal routine to be, your lifestyle, any of these things? What do you want them to be, Pisces? Because it's going to take work. You know, this isn't like Jupiter where you just dream something in. And I have to say, at times I feel like, don't tell Jupiter this, but sometimes Jupiter transits can be kind of overrated, because they just throw you something and then, you know, it is what you do with it. You can absolutely manifest wonderful things with Jupiter, and it can do that. But Saturn is usually where we see the things that last, the things that continuously reward, rather than that sudden stroke of luck. Both are good. But sometimes Jupiter transits can be very overhyped and Saturn transits can be very feared. And I'm not saying that Saturn isn't scary sometimes, because it is. But this is, nevertheless, Pisces, this is a new beginning of something for you on a personal level. So with Saturn being in the mix, this could be you committing to something new for yourself. And this is a wonderful time to manifest, because Saturn is actually still in Aquarius, and Saturn is exalted in Aquarius, meaning that the support coming into this new moon is actually quite lucky for you. And this can be a completely private agenda, because Saturn in Aquarius is your 12th house. This can be a completely private want, desire, need for you. You can keep your wishes and your aspirations and your dreams for yourself to yourself, but it's important that you set them. Write down your intentions of where you want to be in 3 years, what you want your life to be like, who you want to be there, the types of people, the type of lifestyle, and how you want to look as well. And I don't mean that to sound shallow, but this can be a wonderful time to find yourself and to find your style, particularly from around the 15th of February. I'm going to try and post this around the 13th, 14th. Around the 15th of February up until this new moon, there's a wonderful window for your personal style and your personal aesthetic to purchase new clothes, jewelry, makeup, shoes in particular, because you're a Pisces, to purchase these things to improve your avatar, all that sort of stuff. Wonderful window to do so, because this new moon as well is going to be under the Neptune Venus conjunction in your sign, because that is where you're getting a lot of your beauty, a lot of your glow, a lot of your ethereal essence. That's where it's coming in from, Pisces. So for this new moon, you could be starting a new diet, a new exercise regimen. You could be starting a new way of styling yourself, a new way of dressing. You could be starting a new goal for yourself. And whatever it is that you're doing, Pisces, whatever it is that you want, no judgment, not judging anybody for what they want, you're going to be serious and committed to it. So whatever this is, I feel like you have the tools to do it, you have the stamina to do it, and you have the perseverance to do it, with Saturn being in the mix. And I think you're quite serious about this. There's likely something you want to achieve, Pisces, and I don't think anybody's going to stand in your way. If anything, with the conjunction to Saturn, you might find that groups of people or the spiritual world, because it's the ruler of your 11th and 12th house, you might actually feel like there's serendipitous unseen forces supporting you. You might actually feel like your friends are more supportive. For some of you, this could be a new friend coming in, or this could be a new way of healing, or this could be both. This could be a new spiritual friend. This could be a new healer of a friend, someone who's into those type of things. This could be a new friendship group. This could be running with a new cycle, because it is conjunct Saturn. Saturn rules your 11th house of your social networking. And for some of you, this could be a new beginning in your social network, or to do with friendships in general, or perhaps a new wish or aspiration. Very likely a new wish or aspiration. Jupiter, your traditional ruler, is in your 2nd house. So for some of you, this could be to do with money. It is going to be sextiling Mercury in your 12th house. So some of you could be making money from spiritual endeavors, through healing. And with Mercury ruling partnerships, some of you might as well find that you're connecting with really like-minded partners that can help you make money, or who share your values at the same time of this new moon, Pisces. So there could be really interesting connections going on in your life around this time, with Neptune conjunct Venus. You're very ethereal, you're very attractive to other people, and people might also be projecting onto you, but if they are, it feels like kind of a fantasy, like they're projecting a rose-tinted glasses energy onto you, which, use wisely. Saturn rules karma, so be careful of what you're doing. But I feel like a lot of you could really be using this beautiful ethereal essence and making the most of it at this time, Pisces. So let's see what we have for Pisces for this new moon. Might get you a couple of cards, actually. The Lovers! Oh, beautiful. We have the Lovers card. A lot of you are, for those of you that your goal is calling in a soulmate, or calling in true love, or getting married, or deepening your relationship, it looks like that wish is probably coming true, Pisces. The Lovers is usually a love relationship, a love union. So a lot of you that are trying to manifest that, I feel as though that's very likely for you at this time. 9 of Cups. Okay, Pisces, your manifesting powers are pretty high. I would say you should absolutely be manifesting in this new moon, especially if it's love, especially if it's romance, especially if it's a partnership. And whether that is romantic or business, I usually read the Lovers, to be honest, as romantic. I feel like a lot of you are manifesting a dream come true in your love life, wish fulfillment in your love life. That's really pretty. It's really cute. A lot of you are manifesting the one with the Lovers card, and a lot of you are manifesting, you know, even if it's not romantic, you're manifesting something that you will love, like something that you would love to have, something that you would be really enthusiastic and excited about. Okay, well, the Knight of Wands popped up, so we'll take this as the last one. This could be to do with traveling. This could be to do with a trip to a foreign location or somewhere outside of where you live. This could also be to do with fire sign people, Sun, Moon, Rising, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Doesn't have to be. This can also be news of a trip, travel, or adventure coming into Pisces. So if you're manifesting love and romance, or you're manifesting travel, it looks like that is coming true for you, Pisces. How very exciting. That's what I have for you, and I'll talk to you soon.